Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa signed into law constitutional amendments extending presidential and parliamentary terms from 5 years to 7, allowing him to remain in office until 2030 after lawmakers approved the changes last month. Constitutional changes affecting presidential succession are likely to remain closely watched by investors and international partners assessing the country's governance and policy direction.
Honorable members, can you be seated?
It's been weeks since Zimbabwe's lower house of parliament passed a bill to extend presidential terms from 5 to 7 years, allowing President Emmerson Mnangagwa to extend his time in office until 2030. And the conversation is still active in Harare.
The result of the count, therefore, is that 216 honorable members have voted in favor and of the third reading of the bill, and 42 have voted against the bill. The number of the affirmative votes recorded is not less than 2/3 of the membership of the House, which is 187 out of the total membership of the House, which is 280 members.
Signs that 83-year-old president wanted to stay in power beyond the end of his second term in 2028 emerged roughly 2 years ago, when his supporters started chanting slogans to that effect at rallies of the ruling ZANU-PF party.
No singing! Order!
The party last year resolved to change the constitution to lengthen presidential terms, and the plan received cabinet backing in February. Critics say the bill is a ruse for the president to stay in power, though its backers argue it will strengthen accountability and foster stability. This move by the president has completely flipped the table on Zimbabwe's political landscape. Democracies across the globe are largely built upon the premise of voting, of being able to directly contribute to the determination of leadership. Without that, the sentiment of democracy is majorly dwarfed. This is particularly profound for Zimbabwe, which had previously been led by former President Robert Mugabe, who was in leadership for over 30 years. It seems his successor is chasing the same torrid dream.
The people have spoken. You yourself said, if the people say I must step down, you shall comply. This is the time to comply. Because the voice of the people is the voice of God. Today, we are witnessing the beginning of a new and unfolding democracy for our country.
The fact is that Zimbabwe is not an isolated case. Africa's history is littered with leaders who arrived promising liberation only to spend decades desperately clinging to power. Many have governed for 30, 40 and even 50 years, not because democracy failed overnight, but because the people's power was gradually diminished, intimidated or snatched away altogether. That is the real danger of political apathy. Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa is currently 83 years old, officially making him an octogenarian. He joins a notable group of aging African heads of state who have maintained power into their 80s and 90s, alongside other prominent leaders on the continent like Cameroon's Paul Biya, in power since November 1982. Malawi's 85-year-old Peter Mutharika, 84-year-old Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo of Equatorial Guinea, who is also Africa's longest-serving president, holding power since 1979. 84-year-old Alassane Ouattara of Ivory Coast, and 79-year-old Ismail Omar Guelleh of Djibouti. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.